I may have fallen off the deep end, but hear me out.
I've been thinking about the likelihood of K. Rool appearing, and I was chatting with Skips, the Donkey Kong detective, and he pointed out something peculiar about the cutscene where Ingot Isle falls. So here we have Donkey Kong being whisked away. Ingot Isle is plunging into the ground, and a little runt monkey is laughing it up. The crazy part is that Skips revealed to me that there's more than one person laughing here.
Take a look at this, or rather, take a listen.
Another consistent theme.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? Let me play it again, but this time with the commentary removed.
Courtesy of the guy who spoils all the games.
There's a much deeper voice that can be heard simultaneously, but who else is laughing?
The best candidate would be Minecraft Steve Orangutan, but his mouth is closed. Corporate Gibbon also has her mouth closed, so maybe it's the Crocoids? I don't think so. It sounds like a singular person laughing, and we have a whole crowd of these Crocoid things. Skip said that AI told him that it's the meteor laughing, but I'm not buying it. That brings me to this boulder.
While Voidco is surrounded by Crocoids, there's this one nondescript boulder behind them. So I'm over here thinking,
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
I'm also thinking, why is that there? It's kind of ruining the composition of the shot. Voidco is colorful and standing in the center of the crowd to draw attention, but the rock sort of washes them out. Also, it moves? Not like it's flying away, but just like swaying. Suspiciously. All the other boulders around them have funny eyes and crocodile shapes, which makes this one kind of stand out.
here's the deal. I think this rock isn't supposed to be there in the final build of the game. In the retail version of the game, I think we're gonna see some kind of silhouette of King K. Rool laughing behind the Voidco guys.
It just makes sense.
It would let us know who that mystery entity is laughing in the shot and tease the adventure ahead.
And get rid of that strangely placed boulder in the cutscene. I very well might be a lunatic. Watching too much Croc Watch and huffing the Krem Cope. What if I told you there's even more Kremling evidence that's come about in the last few days? Legassini on X-Twitter made this chart detailing the proportions of the Crocoid skeletons. Also, he has a really sick K. Rool in Ultimate. That's pretty neat. In the chart, we've got a lot to digest here. The Crocoid skeletons not only have the same proportions as the Kremlings, they also have the same stance. Thanks to certain instances in Mario Strikers and Donkey Kong Country, we can see what Kremling skeletons looked like in the past.
And would you look at that, Scott?
The proportions are the same.
Okay, still not convinced? Famy Boards was talking about all the recent Kremling and DK references in other Nintendo games.
Nathan Little shares that in Animal Crossing, we have Gulliver coming from Crocodile Isle when he washed up in New Horizons. Professor Chops detailed that we have this box art present in Splatoon. We have all the references of King K. Rool in Smash Ultimate. In the character blurbs, it says that King K. Rool's favorite hobby is stealing bananas. In the Palatina's Guidance Easter egg, we can see that Pit and whoever this is are talking about how K. Rool likes bananas too. Kinda lines up with the Banana Bandit dialogue that Cranky has in Bananza, especially considering the lines of the Smash Ultimate dialogue were written around the same time planning for Bananza was likely underway. Sakurai prefers to work with the stewards of the characters when implementing new fighters, and that would have been an easy task with the Donkey Kong franchise being brought to Japan around 2017. They also specifically call out the Kremlings and explain them, which is kinda interesting. Speaking of Smash Ultimate, I think people really underestimate how big this inclusion was. They didn't add that many new characters with this entry. They were really choosy about it, mostly adding characters from their biggest franchises like Pokemon, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. K. Rool and Ridley were heavily requested from the fan base, but Nintendo's also trying to build up these franchises after a state of dormancy. Metroid's activity speaks for itself, but Donkey Kong was a long play.
And here's the kicker. They could have added Dixie, Cranky, or Funky, and lots of people would have been happy, but they chose the Kremlin King.
That says something about where Nintendo's head is at with the franchise going forward. You wouldn't put a character on a platinum pedestal in Smash to skip him in the grand reboot of the Donkey Kong series. I mean, look at the rest of the Ultimate roster. It's practically an advertisement.
So what does this all mean? When you look at it individually, not much, but when you take a whiff, what kind of stink Nintendo's been simmering with the Kremlings, you see how we got here.
Dino Man on Famy Boards did a deep dive on the Japanese name of the Kremlings. In the Japanese localizations of Donkey Kong games, they seem to religiously make sure that the name of the Kremling enemies start with a K. So much so that they even invented names for enemies in Donkey Kong 64 that didn't originally begin with K.
They were even more committed to the bit than the Brits who made it up. Wild.
So there they are designing Crocoids, and what letter do they choose? It's gotta be a K.
All that being said, I don't read or speak Japanese, and I believe Dino Man here doesn't either. So take it with a grain of salt, but the parallels are fascinating. fascinating.
I'm sure that at this point, if you care at all about this game, you've heard about this map, the Northern Hemisphere in all its glory. It's interesting that they're pulling from Dixie's Double Trouble, as that game is all about exploration. As we saw an island fall in DKC 2, we see another one rise in the Chromosphere in the form of Krematoa in DKC 3.
I don't know how much louder the signals can be. The whole shtick of this game is a rare era callback.
Krematoa is the last world of DKC 3, and you fight Baron K. Rulenstein at the end of it in his submarine, the Nautilus, with a silent K if you're paying attention.
Now say Giuseppe, what kind of fossil do we see on the map again?
A Nautilus? A Nautilus! A Nautilus. What's even more nutty about this area is this balloon. It has bare paw prints on it, which, sure, might be totally unremarkable to the normies out there, but to the freaks like me who played through DKC 3 back in the day, this means something. The Brothers Bear played a vital role in the game, as in, you were not getting to the end of it without bringing a present from Blizzard Bear to Blue Bear. Then when Blue Bear opens it, he finds it's a bowling ball, it's a little too heavy, he doesn't like it, you have to bring it over to Bazooka Bear so that he can shoot you through a cannon to get to the Banana Bird cave that's hanging, at the top of the map there. And look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Donkey Kong Country 3 is weird. Here's the thing though, these guys are hilarious. Surely the most criminally underrepresented Donkey Kong characters. I guess Banjo sort of stole the spotlight from them, but their designs are peak rare, if you ask me. I swear if any of these bears are in this game, I'm gonna freak out. Whether this is just a cheeky little Easter egg or a significant part of the story, only time will tell. But even so, it's remarkable because these guys have been MIA for decades. And would you look at that, folks? After all these little nods to DKC 3 and the Bears, we find Nintendo is doing NSO icons for the same game that's been referenced in the main demo area of Donkey Kong Bananza. I'm finding that a little curious. Curious with a K, that is.
Honestly, I haven't seen this attention to detail and world building in any other Nintendo game.
They rarely care about this stuff to the point where they make up non-canon prequels to games and throw out major elements in sequels. The gameplay comes first, and honestly, I'm fine with that. But this game is just built different. We have New Donk City, the Northern Hemisphere, DK Isle as mentioned in the opening cutscene. The world of Donkey Kong has never felt so connected. They're bringing so many rare elements back to the table, like the recent Nintendo Today app reveal. They have DK making a bunch of goofy faces, and what's that music I hear? It's Ramby's theme from DK64 playing in the background. This is a deep cut. Even Grant Kirkhope forgot it was in the game, and he wrote the song. There were like 15 tracks ahead of this one in terms of memorability, yet here it is.
This game is going to be stuffed to the gills with Easter eggs, fan service, and genuine lore and world building.
I don't know how exactly it all fits together. My best guess is that while DK is in the lagoon, he's below the Northern Hemisphere, but we don't necessarily know if the progression in this game is just DK traveling directly down or if there's some sort of hollow earth thing below the surface.
I'm even loving the way it connects with Mario.
Silica Kong 20XX commented that the monkeys in the lagoon look very similar to these chimps from Mario Galaxy 2, and that's a deep cut, ladies and gentlemen. They got the monkey from Mario Galaxy 2. Kind of funny considering they were at one point thinking about putting Donkey Kong in that game. So I don't know. The Cremometer is reading at about 99%.
At this point, I would be shocked if King K. Rool wasn't in the game. I also think we could put our worries to bed about whether this game will abandon DK's history or not.
It's shaping up to be the most well thought out, connected version of DK's world we've seen since the days of Donkey Kong Country. Who knows? Maybe they'll even reference an Anab in the game or let you punch the moon back into the planet.
The sky's the limit with what this game seems to be cooking, and I couldn't wait to see more.